Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, how dare you, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreon, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So a massive shout out of appreciation to Abraham Mohammed, Adrian Quintana, Alistair Main, Billy Hivold, Burn Fat Till My Stomach Is As Flat As The Earth, Chow Young Cat, Dank, Dave Rakia Gafford, David Wayne Foster, Edwin Johnson, Owen Jennisons, Effie Diplomat, Felix Hung, Fireball X, God Rockin, Henrik86, Jaronism, Joshua Balsimo, Kirsten Smith, Liam Nedrick, Life is Short, Matt, Missouri Bear, Nagara, Naibai, Qatar Craig, Reinhardt, Rene, Sally Ballis, Silver Umbrella, Skeptic936, Texas Mike, The Flat Earth Sun, Moon and Zodiac Clock app, theflatearthchannel.com, Tina Baker and Tom Hawkins. So a massive shout out to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now we are currently joined by 10th Man in G+. Very good to have you.
Good to be here.
How's it going? Nice Christmas?
Well, good now. I lost half the electricity to my house, so I had to figure out where on the property that wire was buried and what was wrong. So that took a quest.
Oh no, that doesn't sound like much fun.
No, but we figured it out eventually.
Are you subscribed to Page? Their Pages?
Yeah.
She's got
the one in chat.
Yeah, she's got fires visible from her location where she lives. Terrifying, I would imagine.
Where does she live?
In Australia. She's got forest fires visible.
Okay.
And she can smell the smoke and all those other terrifying things. So, big shout out to Paige. Our thoughts are with you.
Yeah, stay safe, Paige.
Reading through the comments, and there's a few people saying, "Look, if it gets any closer, just bail, just run away," basically.
Yeah, property. If it's heavily wooded, for sure, but it depends where she lives, I guess.
She stuck a video out. You can check it out for yourself.
I've got one hand on my iPhone, which is on silent, reading about the celestial star trails, and a cup of coffee in the other, and listening to you after a week off.
I wonder how the shows actually went down. Did anybody care? Notice that they weren't live? Were they grateful that there was pre-recorded shows all over Christmas? Who knows? Maybe we'll find out from today's chat.
Well, I found myself listening to them, just whenever I could get an earbud in while I was searching for the wires and everything. So I stay faithful.
Yeah, obviously I watched them as well. I mean, I've said this many times, I enjoy watching my own show. So, yeah, I was there in the chat.
I really enjoyed the 4-hour one. Man, that was epic.
Oh, the super bumper mega after show.
Oh my gosh, we covered so many subjects in that one.
Sometimes it is worth having 4 more hours.
Yeah, especially when Don came in, which he hasn't been in for a while, my recollection, but that was a great back and forth with him about the stars rising in the east, setting in the west, and
right.
It's worth a listen, folks.
So, of recent times, we've had Tim Osman, John LeBon, and wow, Stardom, he is Dawn Treader, all arguing the same crap, incorrect point that stars move in opposite directions. No, they don't.
Yeah, I remember LeBon. An interesting find. I'm still researching it. I want to be able to hopefully present it one day, or at least get it to other people who can. I was, I've been into boating and everything, and you use your modern equipment these days. But I was studying what the old navigators used, which was the tool called the sextant, and it's a pretty handy tool. I don't know if you've ever looked into it.
Sure.
So, after watching several videos, reading one or two PDFs on how it works and how to use it and all the different knobs and what you aim at and how you got to use the minutes and the angles, I ran across a video by William F. Buckley Jr., who was a conservative debater for the conservative side. And I'm sure you've heard of William F. Buckley Jr., right?
Actually, no, but feel free to carry on anyway.
Well, he's an Englishman. That's why I said that. And pretty famous, at least to my era. He was always debating, people on the values of conservatism versus, communism, liberalism, etc. Anyway, he was an avid sailor. And one of the videos was talking about navigation. So I said, oh, interesting. So I watched it. And it's a 7-minute, 51-second video. And he's written a quick guide on how to use the sextant simply. And in there, he said that conceptually, you have to assume the Earth is not rotating when you use the sextant. my eyes popped out when I saw him saying that. And then I replayed it again just to hear it, make sure I got it in context. So it seems like this far into my research, by pulling other things from other sources and watching other people on YouTube explain, that they are referencing a celestial sphere, but a half a dome, like you cut the globe in half, and you're somewhere on that half. But there's the celestial dome, like a dome, as Rakia says, and the stars are attached to the inside of the dome, and they're rotating. And when you have your sextant on the horizon, the horizontal, and you find your 90 degree above you, which is your zenith, that's what you work with in the sextant. And I'm saying to myself, yeah, because if the stars are moving, and this one was with the sun because it's the biggest luminary in the sky, but you can do it with Polaris, the moon, and other stars with the stars that are, at nighttime versus daytime using the sun. At least they all said that. And so I'm going to order me one, and I know a few sailors, and I'm going to put some time into it. But basically, if the Earth was moving, which is, of course, the way they say, you experience the star movement. But with the sextant, they say the Earth is not moving. The stars are moving in a half dome underneath the dome. And that's how you find your longitude, latitude.
So you're going to order one? You're going to order a
sextant?
Yeah,
I'm going to order, just like when I first saw the whole flat Earth, I ordered a P900 and started zooming in on the luminaries and wanted to prove it to myself. So I'm going to order me a sextant, and I'm going to put the time in and go to the ocean and get some sailors who use it and be taught properly. And I get it. Stars are moving.
I didn't know you had a P900.
Yeah, I bought it, I think, the first month of my flat Earth experience.
When was that?
I think the last quarter of 2016.
Okay.
Last 3 months, somewhere in there of 2016. And I've zoomed into the stars. And, I don't do the ocean. I'm a good hour and a half from the ocean. And I see so many on the ocean. So, Ranty's done great videos already. So,
hey, the one, and hey, Righteous Force.
Hello.
Hello.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, hey, the one, Righteous. Happy holidays. Soon to be Happy New Year.
Happy holidays.
How many shows today?
Mike's a bit rough. Just one.
Okay.
There's the necessity to have more than one show is just to build up shows for Christmas. That was all that was for. That's not the case anymore.
I was wondering if you were building up shows for New Year's.
No, I'll be here for New Year. I don't have any plans to go out and, you know, party the night away and get drunk with 2 kids.
Let's do a 4-hour show on New Year's.
About that. But yeah, the show schedule is back to normal now, just one a day.
All right.
4 more shows.
The only exception's Friday. So from now on, Friday will be 2 shows, and then the second show on the second channel gets switched off and goes out as an uncut and after show at 2 o'clock on the main channel. So on Saturday. So in other words, Monday through Saturday, 2 o'clock on the main channel, there's always going to be a show. And then what I'll aim to do is, of the 6 shows, I'll pick one presumably after show section. It might be a main show section that I trim out and will republish as a like best of or whatever you want to call it on Sunday at 2 p.m. So in other words, prior to now, I've split up the live shows more just to spread the risk, because there was a certain level of risk, or previously there was a higher level of risk with the way YouTube was set up. Well, they've changed that now, so the risk level is considerably lower, which means that I don't have to split up the channel, the live broadcasts, other than it proved beneficial or useful for that reason that I gave earlier, which is that I can now have a second show on a Friday on the second channel. Well, I've still had a main show on the main channel on Friday, so the second show is, you know, inconsequential to the main channel, but it means that this bit, the uncut bit and the after show bit, will then go out at 2 o'clock on the Saturday. So it means Monday through Saturday there's always a 2 p.m. show that won't have been seen, because obviously the uncut and after show is unbroadcast until that point. And then, like I say, I'll put out an extra show on a Sunday at 2 p.m. And then on the second channel, it can always run at 10 p.m. from now on, you know, unless Ranty's a pain in the arse and he's like, oh, I want to run a show, and then doesn't, which he typically does. So I'll change my schedule, and then he won't run a live show. He's a proper sod like that. He'll run it on like Sunday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon or something. But there we go. So it'll always be a much more consistent schedule now that the risk is a bit lower. So it'll be 2 p.m. daily main channel, and this show, which is on the second channel, 10 p.m. daily UK times.
So let me see if I got this right. 2 shows on Friday.
That's it. It's much more simple now. It's much more simple. But yeah, I'm only going to the extent of explaining that because in the past it has been complicated. So like Thursdays live shows on the second channel, Fridays live shows on the second channel. There's 2 of them as well, like I've just explained, but going out on Saturday and then Sunday. So no, I've just made it a lot more simple. 2 o'clock shows on one channel, 10 o'clock shows on the other channel. That's it. The only administrative bit for us is to know that it switches halfway through on a Friday. So I do a second show on a Friday, and that's it. But other than that, it's far less complicated having the same show at the same time daily on each channel, 10 p.m. on one, 2 p.m. on the other. That's much more simple.
So let me get this straight. 2 shows on Friday.
That's right, 2 shows on Friday, but not necessarily for the audience. So for the audience, unless they're subscribed to my second channel. So if you're watching this, you're watching it on the second channel. So whenever these subjects come up, how the show's going to run its admin, but it's only broadcast on the second channel, so it doesn't really do a great job of plugging the second channel. You're watching it if you're watching it, right?
Oh, I'm laughing too hard here. I'm thinking of so many good line comebacks to what you just said.
I'm just glad it can be. You know, it was not needlessly complicated, but complicated for a good reason. Now it doesn't have to be, which I'm very pleased about.
Oh no, I was thinking more in line of having a play on words with the what we do with the ballers, with the Northern Hemisphere and the Southern Hemisphere. Your one show, your second show. I was going to go off that direction for a little bit and have a little fun.
No begging the question when I'm giving comparisons of show times.
Oh, too. I'm glad to be back. I'm enjoying this already. So how was the Taboo show? Because I couldn't get on Ballbusters. I had too much going on.
It was great. Excellent show. Several people have mirrored it already. It was just great because we're going through his presentation from Dallas, and he's obviously going to gather together all of his best proofs, his best evidences, collate it in such a manner that it's nice to look at, and then, you know, present over the top of it, which he did. and we just went through each and every section of it, and discussed it in great detail. Gave him praise where praise was due, lots of it.
Good. Because I saw the one in Dallas when he put it on his channel, and when QE said he was going to interview him, I was really excited because I thought it was a good presentation he did overall. And then I had my electrical problem, so I'm going to listen to it at a later time.
As I say, that exactly. We had with the exception of yourself, we had the entire team. Everybody from Ballbusters was there except you.
Electrical. I blame the electrical.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's one of those. You're not always going to get all Ballbusters, but when you get someone like Ben on, it brings them all to. Everyone wants to talk to him.
Yeah, I can't wait to re-listen. Hey, the one, did you listen to that show or Righteous?
Oh yeah, parts of it. And I didn't know that George Orwell was a flatty.
Did you not? There's a part where Winston's being tortured, and the torturer, whose name eludes me, says words to the effect of, "Do you not think it's beyond our mathematicians to change where the stars are? We could have them close if we wanted to be so, and we can have them far away if we want them to be so. That's well within the realms of our mathematicians." In other words...
Yeah, it was a surprise for me.
You not remember that bit?
Well, I remember, but I probably didn't follow as close, so I didn't connect it with George Orwell, realizing what the world is.
Yeah. I think they're sensible enough to realise that within their own timeline, they're incapable of coming out as flat earthers, so they have to encode it subtly, or mention it off the cuff with a friendly, things like that. Whereas we're in an age where we can overtly state the fact that the Earth is obviously and observably flat, and while we will receive ridicule, we are actually being tolerated. Now, it might not seem like progress when you're in the midst of the ridicule, but it is.
Yeah, it cut off for me, so I didn't hear 80% of what you said, but internet problems started again.
If the deception has got a mechanism that allows the individual who's being exposed to flat earth information to have an automatic pre-programmed response to ridicule, then that is an inevitability if this subject is becoming surface level amongst the general public, which it now is. There's no denying this. So that programming is gonna, that mechanism is permanent. It's gonna unfold whether you like it or not. So that's something that you have to have at least a tacit acceptance of if you're going to talk about this subject. People are pre-programmed to ridicule you just because you're saying the Earth's flat. Doesn't matter how good your proofs are. Doesn't matter how much you debunk it. So therefore, based on that, the fact that we receive ridicule, and we could bleat and moan about it or ignore it. The choice is yours. But that's going to happen either way. It's a necessity. It has to. It's that mechanism's in place in everyone. So it's going to happen whether we like it or not.
Yeah, I understand that. I just didn't know George Orwell was commenting on the topic at that time. I missed that somehow.
Fair enough.
I got excited over it last night.
You in the past, Nathan, have referenced that statement, we can make the stars closer or further away. I remember that.
Any chance you can Google search? Just if you type that into Google with George Orwell written afterwards, you'll probably find your way to the 1984 quote. Piece of text, I should say.
Yeah, give me a minute.
Oh, it was actually Jeranism that was the first to point it out, and it inspired me to reread the book. Like, oh yeah, I vaguely remember him saying that, but I didn't. You don't pay any attention, right, when you're reading it in high school or whenever you read 1984 for the first time.
And plus, I remember going through it a long time ago. You're more interested in the other aspects, and I missed that too. I never caught that, and I probably read it or had it read to me, and I still didn't catch it till now.
You take it at surface level, don't you, at face value? So in that scene. You're more concerned about what's the actual torture that's going to befall this dude. What's so terrible that he can't bear the thought of what's going to befall him in room 101. So the dialogue between the torturer and the torturee is kind of you read over it because you're waiting to find out about the rats.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I got that. Here we go. 50 George Orwell quotes. Let's see.
What's the name of the character that tortures him? It's his friend. Or at the least he knows him. I can't remember the character's name.
You have to get someone younger than me. I forgot about the rats.
Only because I've read the book in the last couple of years. That's the only reason I remember that, but I probably wouldn't.
Okay.
You ever seen the film?
Yeah, a long time ago. I remember the film and I remember the book. I just can't remember the details.
I've never seen the film.
I've never read the book.
Fair enough.
Was there a cartoon version of the film, as I recall, or am I just imagining it?
No, you're thinking of Animal Farm.
That's probably what I'm thinking about.
I've covered only like bits and pieces of the book, but never really sat down and read the whole thing, to be honest.
Well, I'm like that with Animal Farm.
Where is Paul, the new daddy?
Busy.
The old new daddy.
Who? What old new guy? What are you talking about? I'm lost now.
Paul Hall, the baby with his wife.
Yeah, his wife's probably popping out of Sprog as we speak.
No, she already had her.
Oh, did she have it? God, I should pay more attention to Skype. It's been a very busy Christmas.
You should.
Healthy baby girl, right?
Yeah, almost 9 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Big.
So 2 girls, that means he has to have a third try to see if he gets a boy now, right?
He needs a prince. Enough princesses.
Just find the frog. It's easier. Don't worry, one. I'll hop to it.
Oh God, here we go.
Oh, terrible.
I mean, I'd have a third, not because I necessarily want a boy, but I just literally don't have the physical space to have a third kid. They're in an apartment, so it's just there's barely enough room for the people that are here now. 4 of us it's not enough space. Whereas I'm pretty sure Paul's in a much bigger house than I am. So yeah, maybe he will.
All right, give me what was part of that quote, because I'm getting quotes on Stars and George Orwell, but he's just saying it's a free show when you look at it. It's not the one we're looking for.
I think not beyond our mathematicians to make the stars close. If you tried that,
I'm going to do that right now.
before we go live, did anybody watch the Matrix movies over the Christmas period?
I don't need
Hello.
Hey, Ranty.
Good morning,
Hey,
Ranty.
Ranty. Merry Christmas.
People
Merry
are giving you
Christmas to
daggers at
you
the
as
moment,
well.
Ranty. People are calling you a lot of names. You know that, right?
Say again.
People are calling you a lot of names at the moment. Did you know that?
Oh, are they? What for?
I don't really know. I can only assume it's one of your most recent release videos. That's typically the way it goes, right?
Yeah, well, maybe it's to do with Ruhif,
I don't
because
know.
I was defending Ben because Ruhif put a video out about him. So maybe they're triggered about that. Who knows?
Don't know. Maybe you could fill us in on the live show.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by the 10th man, Ranty Flat Earth, Righteous Force, and the one in G+. Very good to have you all.
Hello.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello, hello, hello. And we've also got Oblivion, Unicorn Laser Eyes, and the Flat Earth Daddy in Discord. So welcome one and all.
Yeah, the Earth is flat.
Enthusiastic Discord server, as ever. Any signs of Earth curvature?
Not from Chula Vista.
Not on a flat plane.
Hold on, it's not often I hear a name of a country that I don't know. Say that again. Chula Vista?
No, Chula, C-H-U-L-A, Vista. It's
Chula Vista?
city
where's that?
south of San Diego.
Chula Vista? New one on me.
Yeah, Chula.
Shout out to
Vista.
everyone in Chula Vista. No curve where you are, apparently. What about axial rotation? Do the people of Chula Vista experience any Earth turn?
Well, they have a roundabout in the city. Maybe that could fall in for that question.
Ah, for crying out loud. Of the Earth-based... Oh, my God. Right, it's not even Ranty I'm talking to. Any evidence?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Any evidence of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety? Specifically, Earth-based.
Not
From Chula Vista?
From Chula Vista.
not because the people in Chula Vista know that there is no axis to rotate upon.
Okay, right. Do the Chula Vistans have any signs of gravity that's scientific based?
No, I haven't met a Chula Vistian that ever defended gravity yet.
No, people in Chula Vista said there is no detection of gravitons after people became fatter around Christmas time. No increase in gravity, sorry. Still a bullshit.
Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
No evidence for that beautiful light in the sky, how far it is.
Or what it is.
Maybe we could get a Dr. Becky update. So any single viable scientific hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
Not by Daniel Faulkner.
Not by Dr. Becky. The invitation's been sent out many times.
Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Well, if you presuppose Narnia, Aslan can make it happen.
No, we're only presupposing any evidence of a pressure being maintained without the existence of a container.
Nope.
No.
The necessary antecedent for gas pressure is a container.
What about the R value? Any evidence of Earth radius?
I always confuse that with the retardedness of some globe heads. Yes and no to this question.
I think that's it. Is that all of the housekeeping? Did I miss any? I don't think so.
Let's see.
Any evidence?
Radius?
No, had Earth radius. I think that's it. That concludes the housekeeping. Got a few more people in Discord. Shout out to Chow Young Cat for smashing the super chat. Shout out to Kids Selling that. Oh, I'm just going to get you on my other screen. I'm really sorry. Here we go. Shout out to Kids Selling... Oh, it's chiclets in Tunisia. Okay.
Wow.
I'll shout you out for selling chiclets, people of Tunisia.
I found that quote from Orwell.
Oh, brilliant. Perfect timing.
All right, so it's called "No One Can Serve Two Masters" is the label, but here we go. "What are the stars?" said O'Brien indifferently. "A few kilometers away. We could reach them if we wanted to, or we could blot them out. The Earth is the center of the universe. The sun and the stars go around it." Winston made another conclusive movement. This time he did not say anything. O'Brien continued as though answering a spoken objection. "For certain purposes, of course, that is not true. When we navigate the ocean and when we predict an eclipse, we often find it convenient to assume that the Earth goes around the sun and that the stars are millions upon millions of kilometers away. But what of it? Do you suppose it is beyond us to produce a dual system of astronomy? The stars can be near or distant, according to as we need them. Do you suppose our mathematicians are unequal to that? Have you forgotten doublethink?" George Orwell, 1984.
Perfect. I was close enough with my "is it beyond our mathematicians" for you to find it then.
Our mathematicians.
Mathematicians, yeah. Double thinking mathematicians in this instance.
No wonder they lead us on rabbit trails. They're magicians.
Can't think of a pun fast enough.
You're a hair short, Nathan.
Oh, damn you.
The 10th law of thermodynamics states the speed in which 10th men can produce puns is unfathomable.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, it's good to be back live.
Sure is.
100 people watching. Woohoo!
Woohoo!
Let's work our way through some of the Discord server, see if it actually works. Although you said hello to me in it, didn't you, 10th man, before the show started? Yeah. Any fundies in there?
What's happening with the Globeheads? Did they die out during the holidays? Nobody here.
Even the Shills have got to have a national holiday award to them.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, Jesus.
So nothing happened over the holidays with all the people that came over here for the big Christmas family gathering. No one wanted to talk flat Earth, I guess.
Oh, yes, I remember you saying before Christmas that, yeah, well, that's it. If it doesn't just naturally come up, then don't force the issue.
No, but it's funny because I was talking to my wife yesterday, and she was saying that, oh, by the way, that day, one of the members of the family pulled my wife aside and said, "Does he really believe the Earth is flat?"
Oh, my God.
But so it was on their minds because obviously I tell people, and we'll see where it goes after I tell them. And if they don't want to talk about it, I don't talk about it. But they're still talking about it, but not to me. So it's pretty obvious they're still thinking of me saying what I said to them the first time.
And they still think it's about beliefs.
Well, then it was great because my wife, of course, she's listens in sometime to what I'm talking about on the show, and I get to share with her a lot. So she said, well, when he first heard about it, he was wanting to say, what the heck? And he started researching it, and he bought a really expensive camera, and he was going to do some testing and to see if what we've been told is going to hold up. And he went into it to debunk it because he remembered when he was in school that he had a problem with the whole model when it was presented to him then. But, you know, there's the official narrative, and you don't talk about it anymore. And when Flat Earth came up, it like a spark lit in him, you know, talking about me, of course. But then I went into it cautiously because I already knew I wanted it there as a denier of it and be the harshest critic against it, which is how I came into Flat Earth. I said, okay, I know this sparks something in me, but I can't go that way. I have to go in a very doubting, agnostic way here because I have to prove it's round, and I couldn't prove it's round. So it was awesome.
Well, you're in good spirits, so obviously, you know, I think if it had have overtly come up over the dinner table, you might be in a bit lower spirits. Because these things, as we mentioned in the pre-show, these things tend to generate into the programming that we've all received, and that means ridicule, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's the cognitive dissonance. It's, wait a minute, how'd you know before I knew? So a little bit of pride. You're telling me something, and it's embarrassing if you're right, and I didn't know about it. All of these human psychological games go on. Well, you know, if someone tells me the road is out, I'm thankful he told me. I don't want to go over a cliff. But in this case, if you tell him the Earth is obviously and observably flat and stationary, don't tell me that.
Yeah, the flip side of the coin being the automatic assumption that they are correct and it's been confirmed. So it's acceptable to beg the question and say, no, we already know it's a sphere. Therefore, when I give you any example that automatically assumes it's a sphere in the example, that's perfectly justified, fool.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's always the human dynamic when you're talking to another human being. You could be using just not the very precise word in explaining something, but you use a word that maybe generalizes the same thing. But let's say I'm the one talking about something, and I'm assuming you're tracking with me, so I'm not going to get down and dirty with the details. I'm just wanting a conversation to flow. But because I don't get down and dirty with a specific word detail, that person takes my whole talk and goes a different route with it than what I'm trying to say. And I don't find out until a day or 2 days later. I said, what? I didn't say that. Why'd you think that?
I just want to say your introduction on Quantum Erasers channel is pretty awesome. 10th man.
Oh, with the alien on TV?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. The telly. I got that from you. The telly.
The telly.
Well, Adam Meekin was gracious enough to do that for me, and I thank him for it.
Yeah, I'm trying to pick it to get the introduction trimmed down. It's just so long.
No, leave it. It's ace.
Shut up, Ranty.
Don't ever.
What, is it just going to be an introduction with just you on there, Nathan?
Well, I mean, I had suggested that, but that didn't go over. No, there's a trimmed down version. It's the outro. So the outro's about, I don't know, I can't remember how long I got it down to, about 25 seconds. Maybe it's a bit longer, maybe it's a bit shorter. Either way, you know, short. But I don't think it needs 3.5 bloody minutes at the beginning. And I absolutely in no way dislike the intro. In other words, the core material is absolutely perfect. But, you know, there's about 10 seconds of the newspaper. It hits the ground and sits there. It's like, what? No, you know, it's just, these things need to be bang, 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 bang. And then you're into the show. So it kind of gets your excitement level up. But, I don't know. Now it's been played out a few times. it's Adam's work, you see, so I know that by saying this is actually being extremely rude, but by the same token, I did spend a good solid day trimming down about 8 different versions that were short to give people a choice, and even, you know, I'm not saying I've done anywhere near the amount of work Adam did on that intro, but by the same token, now it's gone out a few times, I really hope QE just listens to reason and makes it 30 seconds long instead of 3.5 minutes.
I think it gives people time to fill up, you know, once you get the notification that someone's going live, you know, then just gives people time to actually join and start watching it before you get into it.
Oh, right. And the vast majority of people watch it live. Oh, no, they don't, do they? They all watch it on the recorded version that's not
I don't
live.
know, you had 200 people watching.
Yeah.
Yeah,
how many have watched that now? Is it 2,000 plus? So less than 10% watched live. So the vast majority of people will sit, through a 3.5 minute intro while they wait for the live show to start? No, they're not watching it live. Anyway, these are my gripes. I shared them with you as my pain. Radius Dominus.
I'll just shout out Arwen. Hello.
Hi.
And next, just to give my take, if there is a live show on YouTube, I'll like join and watch the stupid YouTube countdown thing, and like post comments. And if I play it like if it's already recorded, and I just play it, I'll skip the intro anyway. So I think it's good with the 3.5 minute intro.
I get it. It's not that I don't understand the principle. That's why on a premiering stream you have the countdown from 2 minutes. So I totally get it. But once that has gone out, they remove it. So you no longer have a countdown. Well, to me, the long intro is just effectively a countdown that's staying when the show's been done. And you can have the best of both worlds with a 30-second intro. In other words, it's not so short that it's gone within an instant and you're suddenly flustered and having to start live. 30 seconds is plenty. I mean, I think the intro for this is about, 12 seconds? Da-da-dun, 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 Flat Earth debate. And then that's it. You know, it's about 12 seconds. So 30 is like, yeah, you've got a lot of people on the panel potentially, so you want to introduce them all with a little bit of a clip from them. You know, mine being the longest, obviously.
Speed it up 10 times and you have a 35-second intro.
Yeah, as long as 12 of it's dedicated to me, I'll be happy. But so long as it's also 30 seconds.
What was it? The word starts with N. Somebody called you that before with an N.
Nathan.
No, oh my God. Don't be like Nth Man now.
You mean Nth Man?
Oh, there you go.
No, narcissist. Right. Who was it? Rumpus called you, or no, Brenda?
I've
Who
been called a
you that?
narcissist plenty of times.
Yeah.
I think it was another narcissist.
Quite possibly. They do tend to project their own narcissism onto you.
Good morning, Arwen.
That's a bit of a current affairs then. So Patricia Steer's now kind of back on the scene. So she's started a channel covering exactly that, psychopathy, narcissism, whatever you want to call these monsters. But yeah, so any thoughts and feelings on that? Did anybody see Karen B's restream?
No, I haven't seen it.
So check out Karen B's restream, Robbie Davidson's broadcast originally, I believe, and it went out on, I don't know where the radio station is. Nevertheless, it was restreamed by Karen B, so that's where you can find it. And she's discussing, Patricia Steer is discussing her new channel, what will be on there, the type of content, her journey to reach the point where she wants to make a channel about narcissistic abuse. So there you go. That's a general summary of what she talked about in that interview. It's about an hour and a half long.
Oh,
Patricia.
the trolls will be delighted.
Maybe not. It's a different section of YouTube. So there is a whole different community, which I've explored at nausea, which is the narcissistic abuse community. They're very different people to us. They're a different subset of people on the internet. So
They don't.
there might
They
be
don't
some.
have trolls.
Sorry,
I thought
there's a
every-
helicopter taking
thought
off here
every
for some
John-
reason. One of the toys has just randomly decided to take off as a helicopter. But there we go. Anyway, sorry, what were you saying? That totally distracted me.
Wow,
Oh, sorry.
wait. Did it prove Coriolis?
It didn't even really... I'm gonna have to actually turn it off because it is going to become a big problem. Bear with me a second. Talk amongst yourselves.
What, the Coriolis?
No, the
Coriolis.
the Coriolis helicopter in Nathan's roundabout. That's great. No, I thought there were trolls for everything on the internet. I mean, I'm not on it that much, following too many things, but I saw them here, and I said, "Oh, these trolls probably are." I assumed they'd be on every subject everywhere. Yeah, I mean that's all they got time to do, right? Just latch on like a fish to the belly of a shark and go for the free ride and feel like they're contributing when all they're doing is being negative.
Can I have 30 seconds of airtime? I just want to shout out the Globe Light Lounge Discord server and say that's an amazing place. I'm really having a good time with the people there. They're doing a great job.
Wow,
No,
beautiful
you
segue.
can't.
You have 30 seconds now to say that same thing. Go.
No, you can't.
Over.
I think I've solved the problem. The rough rescue has commenced. The helicopter has departed.
Did it departed apparently or actually?
No, actually departed. It was
It's
no
in a
apparent.
different. If it's in a different reference frame, the one
Oh, okay.
like the other room.
Yeah, that came up on the Christmas shows. I think it was Ranty that brought it up. You know, that was a fairly recent thing that we can leave behind us in 2019. You know, the unpicking of the very convoluted, nonsensical argument that is Coriolis deviation on a spinning, rotating sphere Earth is now RIP.
Yeah, it is, and it's quick death. But I really, when we had them come under the old way as well, because like you always said, if it's spinning under the pendulum, it has to be spinning under the helicopter. They were dead both ways. One was just longer.
Yeah. But there is a more sophisticated question coming out of this. Can you change pants while you're changing rooms?
Oh wow, that's a.
Well, that was a nonsensical question that came from somebody who won't get a credit for it, but somebody who didn't appreciate the reasons and whys and wherefores of the globe Earth argument structure in regards to Coriolis deviation. So you have Zanuck, who's a far more competent debater, essentially forcing us, his opponent, into assuming the Earth is turning in all examples. So when you step off a roundabout in his example, no, you're still on a non-inertial spinning reference frame because he's automatically begging the question that Earth is turning. So, you know, it took a fair bit of arguing with Zanuck to reach the point where we understood how their argument worked, when they're not just how their argument worked, we understand there should be deviation and there isn't. That's the most simplistic way of explaining this. If you launch a drone and Earth's spinning, it should deviate. According to them, the pendulums and the gyroscopes prove there's two reference frames. And the bullets and the balls from Neil deGrasse Tyson being thrown on football fields prove there's two reference frames. Therefore, you should launch a drone and it should deviate. You should see it drift. Because not because it's moving left or right when you push the up stick, but because you're apparently rotating underneath it. Now, we don't see that effect. So then you enter the argument here in the trenches where they automatically assume a non-inertial spinning reference frame that is a turning Earth, and then have an argument that justifies why we don't see deviation. But with the begging the question in place that we are on a spinning Earth, regardless of which way you argue. So argue that it should deviate, you're going to beg the question that Earth's turning. Argue that it's not deviating but justified because of X, but again automatically assuming that we're turning. So that was the end of their argument. They had no way out at that point because we had to be in a position of begging the question of a spinning ball Earth for them to argue with us with any sort of conviction that they might win at the end. As soon as you get to the point where Chocolate pointed out, no. Let's not just assume we're spinning while we start explaining away why we have Coriolis deviation. That's an effect of Earth spinning. So prove we're spinning first. Don't just justify this deviation you claim is because Earth's spinning. as a part of your assumption. Go on, Ranty. Or were you just
Sorry,
choking?
I was just coughing there. Sorry, I thought I was
Choking
on
with your
mute.
mic open.
Well, it's a double speak, and they get caught in it as well, because we saw what Danik was doing and the others there all the time. They were using the roundabout to represent the Earth spinning. And you say, okay, well, when you get off the roundabout and you're on the Earth, it should have the same qualities as if the roundabout was spinning, but we don't see those qualities because a helicopter goes up and China doesn't come to it. So they were double speaking with the non-inertial and inertial reference frames, and it's like a spaghetti confusion. So the newer way is much better, obviously. First, prove the Earth is spinning.
So Ranty is back to his old psychopath ways. ... Arwin.
What?
Yeah.
Time for coffee.
What's that? Care to elaborate?
Oh, I did an entire show on it. Why didn't you watch it?
Don't normally watch your shows. What's going on?
Oh, well, you put out a video yesterday. I just happened to not be present when you did it. But yeah, you used video, and I specifically asked you on several occasions, including to your face pretty much, with voice, not to do that. Also because it's not funny. But yeah, you can't help it. Because of that.
So you did a video. So you've done a live stream today about me.
Hmm?
So you were triggered over the Triggered nomination.
Now, I was triggered over the standard betrayal that I've come to expect from you.
Hang on, wait a minute. So you dedicated a stream to me. You were that triggered that you dedicated a stream over being nominated for a Triggered award.
Whatever you want to call it.
Hey, listen, at the end of the day, you know, I mean, Brenda, she had a right rage. She went on one, and she hasn't contacted me at all. And neither has Sean Hawkins either. In fact, the only person that's mentioning anything about this is you. And I don't know why you would be upset about that.
Are they your mates
something
then?
that you put out
Hold
on
on.
your own. Hang on, wait a minute.
I know
Are they
you
your
don't
mates?
understand.
Hang on, wait
because
a
you're a
minute.
psychopath.
Brenda and Shaw mates of
Hang
yours.
on, wait a minute.
Are Brenda and Shaw mates of yours then, Ranty?
No, but they could contact me on Skype. I mean, Brenda's still contacts with me on Skype, you know, because I've had her on the show. So
Yeah, well, she's
contact
probably
me.
not inclined to do that again after what you subjected her to.
Oh, right. Okay. So
Right. Yeah,
Anyway,
by pulling in
the-
right the hand on your show and then letting it obviously go out of control, which is exactly what you wanted.
hang on,
because
wait a
that's
minute.
the kind of guy you are.
I've seen you laughing along with that, Arwin.
No.
Yes, you have, and lots of people have seen it too. You thought it was very amusing when Brenda lost her shit, and
No.
yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
And you also found it incredibly funny when we were talking about Sean Hawkins on the stream about a week
okay,
ago.
but that was freaking hilarious.
Yeah, well, people get triggered. You
Yeah,
should understand
well,
listen,
yeah, but that was
understand what the
completely
word
silly
triggered
out of
means.
nothing.
Understand what the word triggered means. Triggered means being triggered. You were triggered, Brenda was triggered. Everyone's been triggered on that show for a particular clip. That's it. It's simple. It's happened. You put it on your channel. They put it on their channels. It was on my channel. It doesn't matter.
Ranty, I think there's some better examples of people being triggered. You know, for example, when you see people murdering somebody else, that's very triggered. Why don't you put that on the list? Because that's kind of funny too, right? It's triggered,
No.
isn't
Maybe
it?
it's a language
Isn't it?
thing that you don't understand what the word
Oh,
triggered means.
language. No, it's the language of the soul, Ranty, and I know exactly how to speak it.
Well, you know, I mean, you could look at it as a language of the soul for Brenda because she was incredibly triggered at that time for a particular purpose. She was very upset over something about a gender. So
Yeah, and
you
I
know,
don't
I mean,
think that is funny. I did think, however,
everyone else
it was
seems
funny
to.
the way she did it and didn't
Every-
just step away. It was completely ridiculous not to do that. But yeah, that's not the same with me, however. Because
you're
I
not
was
triggered
triggered
now?
about something I was being subjected to by pretty much all of media. And everyone was at the time. And I couldn't handle that. And had a very genuine outrage response. It's very personal.
Triggered.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were triggered.
Yeah,
It's a trigger to
and
watch.
anyone who thinks that it is like something to hold up and think it's funny is a monster, Randy.
It was funny.
Yeah, you're a monster.
It was
Hold on.
funny.
Okay, right. I think you've
You
had it early.
are a
Hold on,
monster,
Just one second,
Randy.
Darwin. Just 1 second. So, from that little back and forth, the only thing that I've gleaned from this is that Arwin specifically asked you not to use that. Is that right, Randy?
No, I've not had a specific message from him saying that. He
You
messaged
have.
me
You have
after
in your chats
the
and
video.
face to face. I told
No,
you
you
not
didn't.
to do it.
You actually said in the chat, you actually said, "Oh, I'm glad he used the 1,000 subscriber one and nothing else." That's the only comment that you actually made.
Yeah, well,
that
that's
was
on your show.
And let me just confirm. Let me just clarify something as well, because I've been doing these shows with Sleeping Warrior, and he was the one that told me that I should not protect you from the video that you did when you was incredibly triggered, and that I must include that if you get to the final 3, which you did. So in being fair to everybody else that was on that particular video, which Brenda was at her worst, Sean was at his worst, it was only fair that that video was included.
Really? Was it?
Well, yeah.
Did they elaborately basically
I still haven't
show
got
off
clarity.
about murdering
Arwin,
people? Was it
Arwin,
really that
I
funny?
want to ask you something. Did you or didn't you ask Ranty to not use that footage? Because he's saying otherwise now.
I might have not said it in his own
well then,
show.
tough shit.
But he's
Tough
been
shit.
around. Yeah,
Then
he's
tough.
been talking about it here. I've been
Arwin.
talking about it in Skype panels.
Arwin,
It's
tough
him.
luck. It's just tough luck then. The
Tough
subject.
luck. Yeah,
I
well,
didn't-
tough luck. I'm gonna get it down because it should not be there.
You're in
It's
the
an
same boat as all of them.
It's not funny.
I was in the same boat. I could have been nominated. Although, let's be honest, George looked a lot more triggered in my clip than I did. So that wasn't going to go very well. Anyway, the point is, you know, it is just a triggered moment. I've got to back... This started out with me thinking I was going to give Arwin an earful, Ranty an earful, and now I've just got to say, look, just got to suck it up. And I can understand you're upset, because it is upsetting. But there are worse things out there, like the thing you were reacting to, which did not get covered. I didn't even know that. I couldn't remember what the thing you were reacting to is, so...
Pedophiles.
I don't need reminding.
Stories about that and them getting murdered and them being savage. That shit was all over the news about eating them and all.
But Ranty didn't cover that. Yeah, and I can
We were all
understand you.
doused in it, and I literally
Sure.
got sick.
I can understand that, but Ranty didn't cover that, did he?
No, he didn't. So
Right.
he put it all out of context.
Yeah,
It's
that's what happens.
monstrous.
Yeah, well,
I
wouldn't you
would
say
never
that?
display anything
Arwin,
like that
please
if
calm
there
down,
wasn't a very
please.
specific reason to do it.
Right. Brenda's identity in terms of her gender was being challenged. Wouldn't you say she's got equal right to be just as outraged?
In a way, yes.
Right. So
But
you're
at
all...
the same time, she was not put out of context because that part that actually really was the trigger, it was included. Ranty didn't put the real reason
No, I
for me
didn't.
being triggered
No, I
in there
didn't.
because it wouldn't
No, I
have
didn't.
been funny then.
No, I didn't.
Now
No, I
would it,
didn't.
Ranty?
No, I didn't.
No, you
I didn't
didn't.
include the part up to that.
No, you didn't. You just... all of you just got shown as being
Because
triggered.
it wouldn't have been funny then.
It was funny. You said it yourself. It's just not funny when it's you. And I understand. But that's tough luck.
But you think it's funny?
No,
It's
I think
Christmas.
Ranty's a
It is
total...
funny.
Think it's funny
No,
what I did?
if I was you, I'd think Ranty was a prick too.
Thanks.
If I saw anybody do that, I would not think it's funny.
I wouldn't either if it was
Creepy
me.
as shit.
I understand. I have the empathy to appreciate. I'm not a psychopath. That it would be upsetting for you and Brenda and Sean. Have some
No,
empathy
that's
for
not
them.
what I'm saying.
No, because you just want you're upset to be heard, and I understand and appreciate that it's upsetting. You know, in many ways, Ranty should still just apologise that he's hurt his mate. That's all I would hope for. You won't get it because he's a wanker.
Dude, do you think that the 1,000 subscriber rant that I'm like proud of that? No, that was embarrassing as well. But at least it doesn't make me look like a monster. It just makes me look silly.
No,
and I
you
kind of
don't.
deserve that.
No.
And I didn't like that, but
That's
I
not
was
true.
okay with that.
No, that's not true. Of all of those clips, and this is said from the heart, you actually seemed passionate, whereas the other two just seemed triggered. Now,
Thanks,
their
mate.
reasons are just as justifiable as yours, but your passion came through in your clip, which is why I think you won't win. I still think Brenda will
One
win.
way or the other, I just don't want to be, I don't want that material to be abused like this. And if I need to copyright the whole thing, I will.
Oh, don't be like that.
Yeah, I will be like that.
This is an opportunity.
Exactly because of this type of thing. I will
take
be.
Take it on the
I
chin.
asked friendly, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of just having no, Arwin, just just go along to get along. Like everybody thinks, like no, I won't have it taken out of context for people's amusement.
Why not?
Sick.
People do it
It's
to me
sick.
all the time. Ranty,
I don't want that.
I know. Well, then that's part of the territory on YouTube. You know, I get daily adverts made about me, Arwin. Daily.
Get ready to record a new trigger one.
Well, exactly.
He's about to do it.
Exactly. This could turn into that next moment. Rather than just laughing it off and moving on, if you highlight what triggered you and get annoyed about it, that's the thing. That's what they want. Not ranty specifically, but in this case, yeah, ranty.
Everything. It's just like, no, just you think that those feelings are gone. Okay, you think that that is just a fluke of the moment.
No.
No.
Of course
it's
not.
a very deep buried real rage, and it's there. It's still there. But I just don't touch upon it.
That's why I said your passion came
dangerous.
through. That's why I said I don't think you will win. And that's why I think Brenda will win. Because it's just pure rage.
I care about it being out there. I don't want it to be shoved in people's faces.
Right. Yours is not Arwin, yours is not a self-indulgent outrage. Yours is a passionate outrage, which is why you probably won't win.
I don't care about the winning. I just don't want it to be put out there like that.
Do you want to win?
No, I don't care.
Let me just talk to Ranty for a second. Ranty, clearly he's upset.
Yes. Well, I don't know. I don't understand it. Maybe here in the UK we have a different sense of humor. You know, I mean, but I played the video to Tony prior to I actually went live, and we laughed our socks off at it. You know, it was just one of them, and it wasn't anything personal towards Arwin or Brenda or anybody. It was just that they were the top three, and I needed to put a little video out to just sort of like show the worst of what they were triggered about, to get the votes in. Simple as that. You know, there was nothing. I wasn't unbiased or overly biased to anybody. You know,
come on, don't be like that.
Oh, really? So why did you not put the actual origin of the context within the examples of my kid when you did with the other example?
After the video finished playing, I explained everyone's reasons for being triggered. I explained that Sean was triggered because nobody was listening to him. I explained that Brenda was triggered because she had a gender an issue that was going on, and I explained that you were triggered over pedophiles. I explained this after the release of the video on the show, on the same show. It was all put in context. Yes, Arwin.
I didn't catch.
No, well, maybe you should have watched all the video then.
Yeah, really. Yeah, you. Dude. But okay.
Sorry, just
okay,
who's got all the wind noise?
A little better, at least.
Hold on 1 second. Sorry, admin issue. Hold on. Who's got all the wind noise? Is it you, Ranty?
Me? No, it's not me.
No, it's me. I've got the dog on me.
No, it was before. No, it was before you joined. Somebody's got their mic open that's not talking then, unless it's Arwin. I don't think it's Arwin. I don't think so. Anyway, the point here at Ranty is, regardless of your intentions, regardless of how unbiased you were, it still upset your mate. So doesn't that deserve, like, I'm sorry I've upset you at the very least?
Oh, I'll rub his little hair for him. There you go. Poor Arwin. I feel sorry for you, Arwin, mate. Please forgive me.
Yeah, he hasn't said it though.
No, he's asked for forgiveness. That's as good as you get from Ranty.
I don't want him to try, okay? I don't want an apology anymore. I just want him to stop.
He didn't apologise. He asked you for forgiveness, Arwin.
Yeah, that doesn't work that way. Forgiveness comes with time. I was very forgiving yesterday, Ranty, when you were on my show and said, like, yeah, let's bygones be bygones. I'm very forgiving. Well, if you then proceed to do something like that, yeah, you can't just flip it around. That's not how it works. That's not how forgiveness works.
He didn't flip it around. He blamed Anthony. He shared the blame with Anthony.
Yeah, that's why I've joined.
Yeah, I thought so.
That's why I've joined. I've joined because I'm triggered by Ranty. I'm gonna correct a false statement of fact by Ranty, and I'm going to support a correct assertion that he made. My support is for the claim when he said that he spoke to me and I encouraged him to play Arwen's clip. I did, because at the end of the day, Arwen was triggered. Rightly or wrongly, it should be in there. Whether people agree with it or disagree with it is their choice. That's my view. So Ranty was correct in saying that I did say Arwen's clip should be in. However, when Ranty said that we laughed our balls off when he played me the clip last night, it's not actually true, that, Ranty, is it? I said you should maybe not put that bit in because it's clearly triggering him, and I said cut it down a bit. It's a bit too long.
It was too long. That's all I heard.
I said it was too long, and I said, but you're not poking the bear. And you said to me, you said that I told you that you should put it in, and that is true. So I agree that I did say put it in, but I don't agree that we laughed our tits off at it. We had a conversation about whether it should be in or not, and I was like, well, it's your call at the end of the day, publishing be damned. But I can see why it's in. I can see why he's pissed off with it. But let's just be clear, I did not laugh my balls off at it. We had a proper conversation about whether it should be in or not. We did not laugh our balls off at it.
Just one more thing. While these people aren't our friends, do we not have any empathy for Brenda or Sean in this situation? Do you not think that they'd be fuming mad, even though they haven't expressed it to you directly?
Yes, I do for Brenda, actually. I really do. I still think it's funny, but that's my own bias towards social justice warrior issues. It's kind of like, I must think it's funny. I can't help it. But at the same time, I do understand that it really will probably hurt her. And I don't like that in general. It's not how I would do things. As for Sean going, sorry, but that situation was just him acting out of nowhere. It didn't make any sense. It wasn't even live. Just weird. He was just being very weird and loud and ignored. I don't know. I don't think he really even cares about that. Has anybody heard from Sean about it? I haven't.
That's not my point. My point is that their outrage is probably equal to yours, Arwen.
Yeah, Arwen, look at it in the context of Sean or Brenda. I mean, yours is proper triggered. Nathan's right. Yours is triggered based on passion. Theirs was triggered based on some other passion that was at least half on topic. Yours wasn't even on topic, so it's kind of really, it's not really meant to be in there, really. But then again, you are triggered. So the point is about it being triggered. But at the end of the day, Arwen, the more you make a deal out of it, the more people are going to react about it. So just pipe down and let it go.
No, it's self-indulgence on the part of self-indulgence for Brenda because somebody's attacking her gender, and self-indulgence for Sean because he's not being listened to like a little baby. Arwen's outrage was for an atrocity he perceived. Well, they're very different things in my view.
Thank you, Nathan. They are.
All triggered, though.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you, Ranty. I'm only putting the boot in regards to your mate's been upset. Fuck Sean. Fuck Brenda. I don't give a shit. They are upset. They're bastards. They're terrible in terms of their behaviour towards us. She'll enter the chat and say, hello, morons. So, you know, she deserves everything she gets, as does Sean. These people are pricks. Arwen, yeah, he can be a prick, but he's still our mate.
We always have fun with our friends. You know,
well, you're having fun with your friend at the moment, aren't you? Let's be honest.
You're the one having fun. It's not having fun with your friends.
People
having
do it
fun
to
with
me
your
too.
friends is mutual.
People do it to me too. It's not a big deal.
Not a justification.
Yeah, but hang on, there's a
You
difference,
may
though.
think that, but I'm not.
Hang on, there's a difference. There's a difference. I give it and I have to take it, right? Arwen doesn't give it. Does he have to take it?
Yeah.
I'd say not. Well, maybe.
No, I'd say yeah.
He was
He does have to
nominated.
take it. That's part and parcel of the YouTube experience. If he wants to be recognised and grow his channel, that you're just gonna have to suck this up. This, you know, that's on a different note though. It doesn't change the fact that you're upset and your mates upset you. That's the bit I want to focus on, because all it takes is a little bit of empathy. And Arwen's even said, I don't care, I don't want an apology, it'll just take time, I will forgive him. You know, Arwen's concession came real quick through his upset. Ranty's still defending it. But that's Ranty. You know, that's what he's like.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I'm glad to hear that he at least put a context to it at the end, although I'd preferred if he had done it before proceeding that, so people can get a context as they get into it. But it is what it is, whatever.
This is the makeup.
Arwen, if it's any consolation, I agree with you that Ranty is a cunt.
Oh, we all think Ranty's a cunt. That goes without saying.
Say that again, Nathan.
I said that goes without saying, doesn't it? We all think that.
Yeah, but you're just as big a cunt there. Sleepy Warrior.
Look, in all seriousness, look, Ranty's a good guy. He meant no harm, and I don't mind speaking on his behalf, Arwin. You know, and
by what standard?
Deep down, he feels that he was justified, and he justified before doing it. The fact that you're upset is something new to him. You know,
there's another individual in history that felt the same way, but I'm not gonna literally make that comparison.
Fair enough.
But whatever.
This is the breakup, then the makeup after Christmas. We've all had too much Christmas dinner, fallen out and had a big row. Well, we've got indigestion, and now the few days have elapsed and we're going, yeah, I'm sorry, I was a bit of a dick. Or maybe not from Ranty, but that's because he's Ranty.
I just don't feel I was a dick at all. It was a triggered video. I mean, I've got to be fair to everybody that was in the final 3. I couldn't just put a video out of Arwin going nuts over his 1,000 subscribers when I have Brenda completely losing her shit and Sean doing the same. I can't do. It would be completely unfair to them to not show Arwin doing the same. I'm sorry.
I understand why you've done it. In the interest of balance, you've used Arwin. Used Arwin. In the entrance,
Arwin was in the final 3. Nathan, what can I say? I can't change the results.
Look, yeah, I can't argue with that because I was in the list, right? But by the same token,
there was 11
you weren't.
People on the list.
You weren't. You and I fell out before we even were acquainted, on account of me taking the piss, perceived by you as taking the piss about something that was on topic. I won't even go through Ken Burns and relive it. For the audience, it's not worth it. But my point is, some things can upset you, can't they, Ranty? Is my point.
We had a good back and forth then for a time.
Right, with us both fuming on topic with a subject of significance. This is just a laugh. So when it's on topic, it's okay to be upset. When it's just you having a poke at Ranty and Sean and Brenda, that's acceptable in the interest of balance that your mate gets thrown under the bus.
Yeah.
I give up. That's it. There's no more to be said.
How about if I offer a compromise here? It's one day. We got one. Hey, Chocolate. We got one day before 2020, right? So how about if I get into a rant here between today and tomorrow, and I'll take that 3rd spot.
Right. Well, hey, Ranty, if you want another rage moment, then why don't you see what my actual response was to your video yesterday over at Jose's when George thought it was a good idea to tell me, hey, Arwin, why don't you go stab somebody? Stab me. See how I responded to that. Maybe that's a good nomination.
Your quote wasn't very good. Hold on.
That's what.
Hey, Chocolate, good to have you. You went, yeah. I didn't hear your quote.
No, that's me acting. That's my George voice.
Yeah, but we still didn't hear the quote. It was indecipherable.
I think he said go stab somebody. Is that what he told you?
Yeah,
I understood it.
We were in the middle of arguing Globe versus Flat Earth concerning satellites, and I got really heated. So in a way, I could have expected that they would eventually go to that, and then George got to shove that in my face as an ad hom, and then I got really pissed off.
Coming from George, Mr. I shave on live hangouts.
Well, I started to
because I'm triggered.
Yeah, hang on. There's the point.
I proceeded to call him a face-shaving little demon goblin.
That's the point. There's the point, right? So the highlighted point of his triggered moment, you threw back at him. So what I'm saying is, this is what happens. People do this. People will expose that and they'll jump over it and they'll say, oh, do you remember when you were triggered and you shaved and this, that, and the other? And you just threw it back in his face right there and then, Arwin. So, everyone's doing it.
And Arwin, it's funny. It's not humiliating. It really is funny because not only the thing that Ranty did was that, like, for all 3 of you guys, he gave a good reason as to why you were triggered. I mean, you're triggered talking about killing pedophiles. Who would disagree? Not me. I just thought it was hilarious. And the other guy in the background going, ah! Oh my God, I pissed myself.
Hey, do we have any
No, that was hey.
I know the exact tone of that. It's like
I found out later that Rumpus could hear him, and the other guy, I can't remember who it was, but the other guy couldn't
Flat
hear
Earth
him.
Data.
Flat Earth Data,
Flat-
couldn't hear him, but Rumpus could hear him, and Rumpus just completely ignored him, which is classic.
Hey, do we got any ballers in Discord that want to jump in here and debate Flat Earth?
Maybe. If not, I'm hoping to discuss the show we had with Ben.
Brandt is like the Ricky Gervais, the Golden Globes, just with those awards.
Got a newbie in
I don't know,
Funk.
man.
How you doing? Can you hear us, Funk? Oh, he's on server mute. Let's boot him to the after show. Why are you even here? Server definitely. He's not even listening to us. Just literally filling a spot.
So Ruhif, he raised his head yesterday and put a video out about Ben's video. I don't know if you, against Ben. Did you actually see that?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to segue back onto, because we were supposed to bring it up straight after going live, and then I forgot about it. But yes, that's what I was actually talking about, Ranty. Go ahead.
So Ben, Taboo Conspiracy, you know, we did a show on Ballbusters a couple of days ago. It was an absolutely fantastic show, over 3 hours long. And it was basically going over a video that Taboo Conspiracy put out. And it was exceptional. It was exceptional work. And what we found out, what happened yesterday to sort of like mitigate any traction that Taboo Conspiracy might be getting, you get the old cretinous globe heads coming out of the hovels. In particular, this guy called Ruhif, who raised his miserable head from his hovel, decided to put a video out about a video that Taboo Conspiracy had done many, many years ago when he first started doing flat Earth research. A bit like myself when we first got our P900 and goes out and starts filming things. It's you know, if you haven't got all the knowledge about how to do all the proper research, you can get things wrong. You can misidentify something. So he put a video out on his old channel that's long gone now. This video's long gone, long been debunked as well. Let me just say, it's not the first time this video's been debunked. He thought he saw something in the video and it wasn't. It's no big deal. It's not a big deal. It's something that happened years ago. But Ruhif decided to go and put this video out that lasted like 13 minutes of putting his name in the title as well, Taboo Conspiracy, you know, and how he's been debunked. Such dishonest from the Globers, because they're not addressing his current research. They're addressing some mistake that he did a long, long time ago. And it's so galling to me. I actually went live and did a live stream backing it up because I was fuming about it, to be fair, because they can't answer the questions today, you know, the current questions that we have today. They would rather try and attack the personality behind it, the person that got something wrong 2 or 3 years ago on a video. They decided to trot out an old video like that, raise it from the dead, and then try and beat the guy with it because he got something wrong. Well, no, why don't you just answer the video that we just spent 3 hours discussing on Ballbusters? Yeah? Because that's his current research now. You know, we all had to make mistakes to get where we are today. It's as simple as that.
Or why doesn't he come in anymore and debate his nonsense? We were talking about Ruhif. He doesn't even come in here anymore. Like, he's irrelevant. What, he's trying to make himself relevant again?
Well, no, he's just trying to muddy the waters again because Ben had he's had such a good run recently. He's got on Globebusters, right? He's putting a lot of content out there. He's doing fantastic work as well. I mean, his work is really, really good, very popular as well. So because it's getting such good publicity, you know, what they need to do is they need to counter that. So they need to put crap videos out debunking him. Yeah, he debunked him. Big deal. He got something wrong. He misrepresented the building. He didn't line it up properly. Big fucking deal, right? But to put a whole video out about it and title him in the name to try and discredit him from his current work without addressing his current work, it's so dishonest. It's like us going back to 2 years ago when we were talking about the inferior mirage and they were saying it was the Earth curve. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, Ranty. I'm just going to shout out for super chats before they get away from me. Shout out to Truth Seeker, who says Arwen is a baby. Well, thank you very much for the super chat, Truth Seeker. Arwen is ace. Super Looming Hyena says, I'm root-win for Arwen to win. Thank you very much for the super chat, Super Looming Hyena. And you know, Arwen, how do you say this guy's name? Unitoxfemu? He did tell me how to say it. Unitoxfemu, I think that's right. He says, Copernicus didn't have a Nikon. Ah, so pity. Thank you very much for the super chat. Really appreciate all the support. Sorry, Arwin. So, Ruhif, yeah, he's just got his own little circle jerk videos.
Listen, these cornballs need to stop. It's about to be 2020. Y'all still ain't proved the curve, let alone the other 7 questions that we got, let alone anything about your globe. So you guys gonna have to step it up. It's about to be a new decade, and you still ain't proving the globe. So, sorry, guys. This last stand of trying to be relevant, all of a sudden, it's sad.
I had something similar before Christmas. So Simon Dan, from what I can glean, although I've not actually seen his video, has gone back to a video I made back in 2015, one of like the first videos I made, and critiqued that. And you're like, really? You're looking at me critiquing the lunar lander from 2015? Amazing. So yeah, other than boosting that particular video, which was dead and buried as far as I was concerned, you know, by several thousand views because Simon Dan's hordes of minions come along, and I don't most of the time I don't respond to comments, but in this instance I did. I was like, okay, fine. How do you have gas pressure without a container? Why isn't it dispersing into this place that you think this machine has gone? You know, none of them are going to reply to that because there is no answer. But these are 2019 arguments as opposed to 2015 musings from somebody who just stumbled across the subject. But there we go. That's just the way it is, I suppose. Go back to the old crap and debunk that rather than address the new arguments. That's much more pleasing if you're trying to make yourself feel better about the fact you can't debunk the 2019 arguments that we have.
Yeah, it was much easier for them 2 or 3 years ago because, you know, we were still finding our feet. So they could always put debunking videos out. Do you remember, Nathan? There was always debunking videos coming out against all the flat earthers that were putting videos out at the time. Because, you know, quite often we didn't know what we were doing. We were still finding our feet back then. Now they can't do that. So they just go back to the old stuff and they regurgitate stuff that has no relevance anymore, has no relevance to the current research that we're doing. And yeah, it's just dishonest. And I just wanted to highlight that and let people know that, you know, if you're going to check a debunking video, just check what they're actually trying to debunk and see if it has any relevance to today's research.
Well, no, it doesn't. What amuses me the most is 2 phrases which you will know make sense here. One is cherry picking, and the other is low-hanging fruit. So they've made their way to the low-hanging fruit back in the day when we didn't address the fact that the entire argument that they want to have about whether or not the lunar lander can be filmed from the moon via a remote station transmitting a relay to something orbiting in a second law of thermodynamics violation. That's the current argument, I might add.
That's pretty sad that they went back to the... Who was this? Simon Dan?
From what I can understand, I don't expect to just see a massive increase on an old video with people referencing Simon Dan and their comments to me. So, like I say, I haven't seen his video. I have no idea what the video is actually about, other than his fans have been directed to an old video I made about the lunar lander and its absurd nature. I mean, but since that video was made, I can't remember which cartoon it was, but there was a mainstream adult style, you know, Adult Schwinn or whatever style cartoon that showed Kubrick making the video for something going to Mars, I believe. And he tells everyone to turn away because there's going to be a blast that's too powerful, you know, nods to nuclear weapons. Anyway, and then he chucks a lunar module into the puddle of water that they've got next to them and says, splash! Ah, it's arrived from space. But there's a part in that particular cartoon, I think it might have been Family Guy, and they start pulling on the string to make it look like it's launching. Now, in that particular video, that's what it is. It's a model on a string. It's about as obvious as it could possibly be. But to the fundies, it's like, no, you're addressing my point in 2015 that it seems absurd that you could actually film it in the first instance and remote control a camera to move up as this thing that's being remotely controlled from allegedly tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of miles away by a ground station at Houston. Well, that argument isn't an argument that I would even entertain today. It's like, sorry, where's this happening again? Oh, right, in space. That's the end of the argument. But, you know, you can argue all day about whether or not you can remotely control it and give their just so bullshit justification for remote controlling something via a battery-powered, remote-operated, relay-controlled camera on a rock in a light in a sky in the second law of thermodynamics sky vacuum. You know, that's basically what it is. Back in the day, we didn't appreciate that all of these arguments and stories come from a violation of a law of nature, sky vacuum. But you can argue all day, like I say, about whether or not you can have the gas pressure inside the ISS leaking out if a meteorite hits it and gives you an album cover as the picture. You can argue all day about whether or not they're dropping rings when they're showing you how the toilet mechanism flushes, or whether or not they're on high wires when they do their little spins, because all of those arguments take place in a violation of a law of nature. The sky vacuum isn't real. Outer space is fake. You can't have gas pressure without a container, and the heliocentric model is an open system next to a vacuum. With that, I'm going to say if you are watching on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, if you're watching this live on Nathan Oakley 1980, this is where we bid you farewell. A huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who did tune in live, smash the super chat. I think... can't say your name, Unitox Vemu, also smash the super chat at the end. Much appreciation to you for doing so. As I say, stay tuned if you're watching our Nathan Oakley premiering stream, as there will be an after show to follow. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
About to be 2020. Nobody's proven a globe yet.
Good morning, chocolate.
What's going on, guys?
I've got a problem with it because the physics says that the heliocentric model isn't open. That's incorrect.
The model's not going to be over, no, but as for reality.
Who said that? Heliocentric model isn't open, did somebody say?
Yeah, so Earth is considered a closed system by physics.
Oh, really? Oh. How did Voyager get out then?
And you don't understand what a closed system means. Well done.
Sorry, did you not hear my question?
Wow.
Did you not hear my question? Don't question what I don't know, whoever's speaking. I asked a question, I'd like an answer. How did Voyager get out if it's closed?
A closed system doesn't mean that...
I didn't ask what a closed system was. Yes, are you deaf? Are you deaf? Quickly, we're into globe head obfuscation.
I'm also not stupid, Nathan, and I'm also not a dick.
Well, then answer my question. If it's closed, how did Voyager get out? I'd like an answer to that. Not an education in what open and closed is. I'm still speaking. I'm still speaking. You are a dick. Because I'm still speaking, dick. Yeah, I don't need an education.
I'm sorry. I didn't realise that you lacked manners as well as intelligence.
Yeah, you do lack manners. You're talking through me. I'm having to raise my voice because you're continually talking through me before I finish my statement. I don't need... And there you go again, like a dick talking through me. Dick.
I know,
so, rude. Rude. You've got no manners, dick. You've got no manners, dick. Yeah, you're being rude. I still haven't made my statement unimpeded, dick. Yeah, you're a very rude man. You've got no manners, no tolerance for other people making statements you can't answer. So you need to dance around and obfuscate the fact that Voyager is claimed to have left. Yeah, you're not listening to me, are you, dick? So let's pop you on mute. Arsehole. You seem to be very rude. Maybe one for the triggered archives of Ranty. So with you on mute and me nice and calm, I'll point out that it can't possibly be a closed system. Otherwise, Voyager wouldn't be able to leave now, would it? You complete numpty. Now, I appreciate that when I point these things out, you'd rather educate me in what open and closed is, rather than actually addressing the fact that your system's got Voyager leaving it, which would absolutely imply an open system with a vacuum of space for the gas to leave. So no, I don't care what your physics magicians say. I don't care what you think I know about open and closed. Your system's got Voyager leaving, something that you must talk through and claim I'm rude when I point out and win in my assertion that your heliocentric system is absolutely and unequivocally claimed to be open, unlike your claim of it being closed. You fundamentalist, religious zealot doublespeaker.
Yeah, bro. You smashed yourself in the first statement. Rest in peace to you.
They don't last long, and all they can do is start criticising me for being rude while I try and get a sentence in. Yeah, he ignored my sentence. How did Voyager leave? Oh, physics defines open and closed. That's not the question I ask. And when I start pointing that out, it's non-stop rumpusing because they've lost. Yeah, this one for the Triggered Archives of Nathan No, an asshole that wants to talk through the fact he can't answer how Voyager's leaving and needs to just define open and closed. We know what open means. We're not fucking 5.
You bent him over with one question.
He bent himself over with his own statement. Nobody had to even say anything. He destroyed himself.
Instant double.
Are you kidding? How is the heliocentric model a closed system, guy? I would love to hear how he explains this nonsense.
Well, it's their double speak that they have to live in.
What double speak? He said it's closed.
Well, no, because he knows it's open, but he's got to say it's closed.
Who knows what he knows? He's a moron.
Everyone knows heliocentric is open. Everyone.
Sad guy.
It's doublethink 1984 time, isn't it?
Yep. Radio check.
We heard you chuckling. We appreciated the input.
Thanks.
So, QE.
Yeah, they're arguing our points while still sustaining a belief in outer space because they can't prove outer space, but they can prove our points.
Yeah, it needs to be closed. It must be closed. We are in a closed system on account of the fact that we have gas pressure here. Without the container, there could be no gas pressure. And we definitely experience gas pressure. Beyond the experience of gas pressure, which requires a container, I have no idea what the sky is. But this fuckwit will come here and tell us that physics tells him it's a closed system with Voyager leaving and things travelling to the moon. Yeah, okay, Fundy. Yeah, go off to your doublethink and moan that I've cut you off after you've interrupted me 25 times to avoid the question of how Voyager leaves. Yeah, we know it's closed, mate. Yeah, but you trying to claim that your heliocentric system's closed is just going to get shot down in flames pretty quick.
It doesn't take much of a research. I mean, in your first 2 minutes of research, you're going to find out that the Copernican revolution was saying that there was not a closed system, i.e. the Rakia, the firmament. So they were saying, no, you can't believe the Genesis account of a closed system because it's an open system. Now, this guy in 2019, almost 2020, is thinking he can come here and use this kind of nonsense argument style that he has.
Yeah,
Well,
I think this guy is Druss the Legend. I pummeled him some years ago on an evolution forum. Yeah, I'm going to tell you what he wrote here. The Earth is a closed system. I thought you just said it was an open system online. This is what he says in chat. The Earth is a closed system because only energy is naturally transferred outside the atmosphere. At Nathan Oakley, you know not what you are arguing for. Sorry, mate. Facts are a bitch. Druss the Legend. You came on here and said the Earth was an open system. You were challenged with, how did Voyager get out? Do you see the contradiction yet, son?
Nope. He doesn't. Because he's
Is
not
he back
looking.
in here yet? Yeah, he is. Let me take him off mute. Go ahead. Now, behave yourself.
Sure. I never said it was an open system.
You said, oh my God, that's what
that
you
was
said.
your opening gambit. Are you
We
insane?
Are
you insane? That was your opening gambit. That's where I checked you and was like, sorry, who said that? You.
No, I said it was a closed system.
Oh, really?
No, I think
Oh
you're
my
right.
God.
I think
No
you
worries.
did
It's all right.
say
No,
it was
chocolate.
closed.
Chocolate.
I
It's
said
chocolate.
he
He
was
took the
wrong
bait
for
real
saying
quick.
it was an open.
Sorry, he took the reverse psychology bait so fast it's untrue. These people are very, very easy to play with. It's a closed system in the
Well, if you're
heliocentric
gonna
model.
do that,
You
I'm
don't
just gonna
need to
go, I'm
immediately
not
start
here to
talking
insult
through
you,
me.
I'm an idiot.
You don't
I'm not gonna let
need
you
to
drag me down to your level
immediately
and
shut him
give
up,
you
John.
experience.
John, shut him up. He's immediately talking through me. Immediately.
He left.
Immediately. So
He
he's
left.
run away again? Run away again.
He left again.
Yeah, because I was about to ask him again. So we've got clarity through a little bit of reverse psychology. Fell for it hook, line and sinker. Couldn't believe how quickly that worked. So he's alleged it's closed. And then I got to the point where I'm going to ask him about Voyager, as was clarified by John before he was open, his mic was open. And he immediately rumpusses me again, the same exact routine. So how did Voyager get out? Oh, he's run away. I can't ask my question this time. How did Voyager get out? Oh, he's not here. Why? Because he knows the question's coming.
He's still in text chat.
He's certifiable. He said both sides of the argument.
They're cowards. Total cowards. They come in.
I love that.
Go on,
Sorry,
Chocolate.
Nathan. No, I love that now that they're arguing that it's a closed system. It's great.
That's the gas pressure.
At first, it was no Coriolis, right? Now they're arguing for a closed system, guys.
That's because
this
is the gas pressure question is putting a lot of pressure on them.
Right, that's perfect timing. I'd like amongst us now to just sort of get some protocols in line. So next time a fundy comes in here and says Earth is a closed system, as this guy has asserted, the first thing I'm going to do is say, so you would concede that without the container there can be no pressure. So first I want them to concede, because obviously they're going to be arguing that we need a closed system, otherwise we wouldn't have gas pressure. So without the container there can be no gas pressure then? Closed system? We're all in agreement then? We're in a closed system? Because they're essentially coming in and agreeing with us, and we're having to argue against them as fundies because their system's not closed. But I'd like them to concede without the container there can be no pressure, and then move on to the fact that no, you've got your religion wrong. How's Voyager leaving?
I like that. The two-hit combo.
Yeah, if they're going to come in and start saying it's closed, I'm more than happy to first agree with them. All right, closed system. Oh, right, so you understand now that we can't have gas pressure without a container then. If it wasn't a closed system, we'd all die. We'd asphyxiate as the gas filled the space. Oh, you appreciate that. Excellent. And you're a heliocentrist. Oh, well, you're just wrong about your religion. That's most definitely open. How's Voyager leaving? Rumpus, rumpus, rumpus! Call victim status!
It just reminds me, it would be akin to or similar to an atheist calling in, defending the Trinity at the same time being an atheist.
That's going to go straight over my head. Sorry.
Well, an atheist doesn't believe in God, but he's going to call in and defend the Trinity, but he doesn't believe in God. It's like, which side are you on?
Bill Nye. Bill Nye, who is absolutely no way a scientist, but asserted as being a science guy by media, asserts that we're in a closed system. Oh yeah, well you don't understand heliocentrism, or you appreciate there's a contradiction because if it's an open system with Voyager leaving and the moon travel happening, then ultimately speaking it's an open system, but we'd all asphyxiate. So perhaps this total layman, Bill Nye, appreciates that we'd need to be in a closed environment to have gas pressure. Maybe he just explains how we have Voyager leaving, given that heliocentric religion dictates it's an open system. Just gas magically stays here anyway.
Maybe they're about ready to, in 2020, to throw Copernicus under the bus, because that's what they're doing.
Well, I was going to make a joke about that earlier, because I was like, wow, maybe he's appealing, maybe the physicist that he's appealing to is Bill Nye. Because Bill Nye at one time did say the Earth is a closed system. You can't leave the Earth. That's on video. He's a pusher of the heliocentric model. How is he saying that it's a closed system? What's wrong with him? You can't leave the Earth?
Are you forgetting,
Voyager?
Are you forgetting double thing?
I got his answer. I got his answer in text chat.
Oh, great.
Whose answer?
What is it, Righteous?
Foolish decisions. He says a closed system isn't an isolated system. It means some stuff gets in and out, but nothing even remotely significant.
Well, that's an open system. Well, that's an open system. Stuff getting in and out, that's an open system, you moron. So he was about to educate us, rumpusing me when I asked about Voyager, about what open and closed was. If stuff's getting out, it's open, you complete moron.
And he thinks that means it's an isolated system. This guy is horrible.
No, the smallest particles, gas, stays in, but a Voyager or something built of matter and bigger gets out.
Just for clarity, open can transfer energy, but not matter. Sorry, closed can transfer energy, but not matter. Open can transfer matter, like Voyager. So if you're open, matter can escape, like Voyager. If you're closed, matter can't escape, like Voyager.
Yeah, how did we get those pictures of Jupiter?
I couldn't even...
One last thing. Isolated systems do not exist in nature, ever. They are used to describe the laws simplistically. Isolated systems would be close to both energy and matter. However, no such system exists. It is simply used to describe the law of nature, which is still absolutely applicable.
No, he's on the laws of motion now.
John, you should ask
I'm
him
not even-
if a thermos is a closed system.
You need to go back to your evolution foundations, Druss the legend. You really do, because this is sporadic nonsense that you're driveling. Why don't you come on? I'm not reading any more of your posts. Why don't you come on the show again and tell us that you didn't say the Earth was a closed system. You said it was an open system, but then you said it was an open system and it wasn't a closed system. Let's hear that again, please.
Are you forgetting the ways of doublethink? So, Ben,
you think you're smart, but you're not.
Definitely had the desired result of triggering a lot of fundies. It's good, right? Taboo Conspiracy QE.
Say that again, sir. Sorry.
It developed quite a reaction. Taboo Conspiracy's appearance on Ballbusters dissecting his Dallas presentation has triggered quite a lot of fundy reaction.
Really?
Yeah. People didn't like it. Of course. Your disclaimers were justified.
Have you been has there been some blowback?
Yeah, a few people have made adverts.
Really?
Yeah. Shout out to all those people making us adverts.
Wow, and here I fundamentally enjoyed it.
Yeah, Ben's great. You know when you sense before the show goes out, you know it's going to be an important show, and that was one of those. Not that they're not all important shows, but by the same token, I think this was a particularly special Ballbusters.
Yeah,
it seems like
it lines up with it's another death knell. I mean, they can't get, the beauty of it is they can't get out of those horizon the horizon distances. There's no argument against it. It's a really short argument. It's really simple, and it's devastating. So I don't know what you can do. These people are getting exposed. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe listen to some Skinner to ease your pain.
Sarah, just do a quick mic check. Can you hear us, Ranty?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool.
Are we still at the after show?
Yeah. Couple of criticisms. Can't all be roses, right? So, the Milgram experiment. So, I didn't, although I said I was going to, I didn't go over and over the experiment and its abuse and use in these terms. So the vernacular got left behind off the show. I'm glad as well, because it was 3.5 hours as it was. So that said, a lot of these presentations of these so-called experiments, now I appreciate that, let's just set aside that experiment's the wrong word. That's not going to be my point. If you take them as valid regardless of their scientific empiricism, because they've been demonstrated as valid, you have to appreciate that what you're being shown isn't ever a member of the public going in and doing as they are suggested to have done. So when Darren Brown says, here's a member of the public that we've got off the street, they're going to take part in this experiment, they're going to be told by the man in the white coat to flick the switches, and then they do or they don't, depending on their moral integrity, and this percentage go all the way up to a bazillion volts and would have killed the person on the other side. That never actually happens. That's not how television works.
So basically, you're saying that whole setup is just actors, just television.
Yeah. So while they say this person is a man in a white coat who's actually just been told to say this, that much is true. This person is a man off the street who is totally unaware of the Milgram experiment. Now, quite often what they'll do, especially specifically the Milgram experiment, what they'll do is they'll say, some people even said that they'd heard of the experiment already, so we removed them from our test subjects, lending credence to the idea that they are genuinely members of the public who have taken part in this television production. No, the beautifully lit stage and set is absolutely unequivocally made plain to every single participant in that production.
Yeah, it's like the same thing with the Discovery Channel nonsense, right? When they were trying to prove curvature, they were all actors too. I mean, look who hosted. Was it John Cena? And then the two girls that were in there, they were actors too. They were in other Discovery Channel things, and like, I mean, come on, man, it's all a joke. And it's literally the only curve
could be settled once
demonstration that the ballers have to point at, which is really sad, to be honest.
Remember when they showed it's one of those sort of fakeologist type things where they show a news report that's claimed to have gone out from, I don't know, some foreign location, and it's clearly a cardboard set in the studio, but they're legitimately telling the audience that they are in, I don't know where it was, it's Baghdad or somewhere specific.
Like CNN.
Yeah.
And CNN did it. I think it was
do
what's
not
his
go
name?
there.
But you know what I'm referencing? Just so
Geraldo Rivera.
Yeah.
Or Anderson Cooper. What are these guys?
Exactly.
They have like cutouts.
Exactly. They got cutouts of trees. It's really overt. But they are genuinely and overtly stating to the audience as a lie that they're somewhere they're not. Now, if they're prepared to do that when they're reporting news, do you not think that they would control absolutely everything when it's a pre-staged piece?
Ooh, Rumpus just popped in. Oh, he popped out.
Hey, you remember Baghdad Bob when the American tanks were rolling behind him and he's being interviewed saying, no, we fought the Americans. They're not near Baghdad. And right behind them are American tanks.
Right.
What about Hillary Clinton getting Bosnian fire?
Yeah. I'm not looking. Sorry, I don't mean to be rude. I'm not looking for endless examples of media fakery. I'm just saying that if you are aware that they can overtly fake being one place when another, they lie. Yeah, we're really in Hawaii. Look at the palm trees. Yeah, often they just lie and they're not. They're somewhere else. They might be in a set. Well, I'm saying if they're prepared to do that on TV when it's news, well, do you not think it's perfect, plain and obvious that they'd do that when it's a documentary, or in this case, a Darren Brown psychology show? In other words, whenever you're presented with this stuff, I'm not saying that they haven't conducted this social experiment. I'm not saying they haven't done that at some stage. I haven't looked into the actual validity of what they've published, but the stuff they present you on TV is definitely, in every single instance, all staged actors, controlled with a script so that it all goes to plan with their schedule, and they hit their marks and make their edits and get their show published to make money with it.
Yeah, that's why they call it television programming.
So what's up with the problems with they're having with ball busters to get back on that vein?
Oh, well, just everything. You know, they don't like the fact that satellites are balloons. That's seemed to have struck a nerve. So after us discussing it on Ballbusters, Ben went out and sought out Series 14, Episode 8 or whatever it was, and Bart gets a telescope and Lisa Simpson says the only thing you can see outside is the Fox satellite. It's so bright. And then you cut to the Fox satellite with a bit falling off it. So he cut that together with all of the recent... He didn't include the Brazil one, but I did pin a comment on my re-up of it from Ute saying don't forget the one in Brazil, but all of the balloon satellites that have crashed. So that certainly set a few people off, to say the least.
Yeah, because he made it right after Ballbusters was done.
Yeah, I watched it. It was really funny. Yeah, I didn't get the blowback. Maybe I wasn't paying attention.
Depends what you're searching for, I suppose.
Well, the very fact that they have satellites on big helium balloons and they're launching them with cranes, they see that, right? I mean, they got to see what we see, and they're going to deny it?
No, they go, but that's perfectly normal, nothing to see here. That's just, that's a balloon satellite, so what? And we're like, yeah, satellites are on balloons. That's our point. Yeah, but that's justified. Here's the explanation for it.
It's funny because you don't hear them argue it very much, right? They stay away from that. They just say, yeah. They put them on balloons, but they're in space too, yeah. They don't argue that they're just on balloons, especially when they're crashing out of the sky with balloons still attached.
The fact that Samsung called theirs a space selfie and sold their Galaxy phone with a space selfie doesn't matter. You know, it's just they were lying in that instance, but yeah, it's a balloon and that's fine. Because balloons in space with satellites on them taking space selfies really lends credence to the idea that the sky's a vacuum.
To be fair, how easy is it to look up one of these balloon satellites as a regular person who doesn't really know about any of the censorship? Like, if you look it up, does it pop up?
Yeah, but that's just it. If you're a regular person, you don't even know these things are on balloons.
What regular person is going to type in balloon in front of satellite?
Yeah, unless you're getting into this argument, really. But I don't think the normie walking around, everyday Joe, knows that there are these things on balloons up there. You know? Go ahead.
Shout out to face shaving demon goblin.
What?
Face shaving demon goblin.
Are you talking about George?
Before we get into the attacking people, sorry, are you still around, QE?
I'm here.
Any chance you can hook me up with the Robert Bassano release that you recently did, where he's discussing, you know, the one, balloons, people, balloons.
The balloon, yeah, I have the balloon. You want the video?
There's a certain section in it, it's about 2 minutes long, where he goes down the list and identifies things like Mir, and it's a balloon launch. You know what I mean?
That's correct.
Have you got that to hand? We've got about 6 minutes left on the after show. If I can trouble you to find it, ideally I'd love to play that.
Not 4 more hours?
No, not 4 more hours, no.
You got Spanish today?
Yes. I don't know, actually. I'll just ask Paula. Paula, have we got Spanish today? Be right back.
I was just listening back to Jose's show.
Hold up 1 second, Randy.
See, Nathan. See,
hey,
you have Spanish today.
You remember? Do you guys remember Google's balloon internet experiment?
Hold on a second, 10th.
Yeah, Google Loon.
Hold on, man. Do you got... or you got Spanish? You got to go?
No, I'm hoping to get this clip. We've got 5 more minutes.
All right, let me go try to find it. Hold on.
Real quick, too, if
Can
anybody,
I continue on that topic
if
there?
anybody speaks to
Nathan?
Anthony, tell him I have a good video for him.
Go ahead, Elijah, and then if you can, 10th, go ahead.
Go ahead, Elijah. I'll go after you.
No, I was just saying I have a video for Anthony.
Oh, okay. Well, I remember
Oh, yeah, I'm
Google.
listening.
Go on.
Oh,
It's got a video
yeah, I
for
have
you.
this. I'm gonna post it in the chat. Hopefully, somebody could do the massive B thing or whatever and get it to you. But it'd be really good to use that with your relative density argument, because they literally don't know that they're explaining that that's all it is. Because they're using anyway. I'll post it. I don't want to take up the rest of the time.
Cool, man.
Well, the Google Balloon Internet experiment 1 year later, I'm looking at it here on my phone. And I've been watching a lot I love the ocean, so I watch a lot of yachting videos and circumnavigation type of, follow certain people who on their own, on their type of boat, sailboat, ketch, or trawler, are going all over the world. And they're always saying, I can't get internet, I can't get internet. And then they get to this place and they get a little internet. So it just prompted me to search and see how they're getting it. And here's Google talking about Project Loon and getting these balloon satellites, 60,000 foot strata where the balloon actually lives, so that these people can get internet connection. But wait a minute. That kind of rubs me the wrong way, because I thought we had satellites in space covering every part of this globe for internet connection. Which one is it, ballers?
What globe?
Yeah, exactly. What globe? Why are you sending up balloons in a closed system if you're on a globe with an open space with satellites? Why do you need balloons at 60,000 feet? I'm going to rant. Maybe I get on Ranty's top 3 here if I get pissed off enough.
That's when they use it's approximately open.
Balloons can't go through it, but the Voyager can.
It's only mostly closed.
Hey, you can put an early claim down for next year if you want,
I got a whole year to try to make your show. I'm going to get pissed off at the ball. No, it's ridiculous to see right in front of your face Google and NASA launching satellites with balloons for communication purposes, while at the same time there's space with satellites. Why? We're not looking for redundancy here, like 2 water makers on the yacht, because one breaks down, you need another one. You're in freaking space for years with a satellite, according to your nonsense BS. And you're supposed to give internet connection to anyone in the world, anywhere. And you can't do that, so you launch balloons?
Nathan, I put it in Master B. It's 12 minutes, somewhere around there.
This is the list of all balloon launches from the Esrange Space Center in Sweden. Okay? Now, let me take you to the Swedish Space Center. And here is the Swedish Space Center website. It's in the description section of this live chat session. This is the Swedish Space Center. And as you can see, they have balloons and rockets, payloads. This is their website. This is their website. Swedes, the Swedes. Okay? It's the Swedes. Here's their space center. They do balloon launches. Now let me take you to the document I downloaded from their website. Now, this is a list of balloon launches from the Esrange Space Center starting December 9th of 1982. Remember that term, SAMOS? Okay, here we go. History of satellite reconnaissance, right? This was declassified May 7th of 2012. All right. These flights took place somewhere between 63, 65, 72. But again, I don't get too focused on the date and time frames. I just want you to see how long these programs have been in existence. Okay? I want you to see how long these programs have been in existence. You can read these documents for yourselves. We don't need to keep going through all this stuff together. I put a lot of this shit out for you people so that you can see this. You see they talk about weather satellite program, mapping satellite program, realignment controversy, new directions in satellite reconnaissance. Okay? But let me take you to this document, which is very important, from the Swedes. This is not US oriented. I got this from a foreign country. Okay? So you look at some of the launches. These are balloon launches, people. These ain't fucking rockets. It says it. List of balloon launches. So I want to go down this list and I want you guys to see something very, very fucking interesting. It may shock a shitload of you. It should shock fucking all of you. It didn't shock me because I've been known about this program for a long time. Okay? And I want you to see something important. There's going to be some things here that you may see that are going to catch your eye. All right? Because I want you to look. You see the campaign, you look at the payload. All right? You got campaigns and payloads. And we're not going to go through all these codes, but you're going to see something that's going to catch your attention. All right? We're going to keep going through this. All right? Keep going through it. You're going to see something that's going to catch your fucking attention, that's going to blow your mind. I want this right here. I know this. This is a satellite. I'm going to take you to this too. There's a video of it online. Anybody want to search this right now? Type this in. ELHYSA. Echo Lima Hotel Yankee Sierra Alpha 3. Type that in to YouTube right now to see if you can type that in -satellite, and I guarantee you'll pull up the video for this fucking thing right now. But let's keep going through this so I can show this to you. You see this, people? What does that say? Mir. That's the Mir fucking module. That's the Mir space module that's supposed to be attached to the fucking ISS right now. That's the Mir space module. February 24th, 1997. Here goes another one. Mir. March 17th, 1997. Mir. Okay? I want you to see these things. All right? I want you to see these things. Let me take you to another one here because there's let me hang on. Let me see. Here we go. Two more. Mir. February 18th, February 19th, 1999. Mir. It's the Mir space module, people. On a balloon. The Mir space module on a fucking balloon. The ISS does not exist complete the way they show it on television. Here goes another one. Mir on a balloon. What they are showing you of the space station is a fucking computer-generated image. They are not showing you the complete fucking module put together, flying at 17,000 miles an hour for fucking 15 years. Here you go. Look at this. Support Mir. They sent up a support balloon to resupply the Mir on a fucking balloon. On a balloon, people. Look at this. Orion. Orion payload. Look at here. Inmarsat. You want to know where your satellite phone communications come from? Fucking balloon. A balloon, people. A balloon. I'll supply this document to whoever wants it. Here we go. Inmarsat test. Balloon. If you were to take time to search every single one of these flights to match it up with a particular rocket launch that they claim this fucking thing was on, I guarantee you, you will be able to compare it with this Swedish Esrange Space Center balloon flight list. Balloon flight list. Balloons, people. That's your program. It's always been your program. Look at this. Mirror short duration. Mirror VLD. You got 2 VLD. Look at here. More mirror. This is in 2002, people. 2002. For those in Europe, you ever heard of Enviasat? Look at Enviasat. Enviasat. These things are supposed to be testing the atmosphere for particulates and, you know, for pollution control. Balloons, people. You can't come to any other conclusion. You don't have any other information to prove you were at the launch pad and you saw them put this fucking thing inside the nose cone of a rocket. You didn't see it. I don't give a fuck who you work for. You can work for NASA, you can work for the fucking Germans, you can work for the Russians. You did not see what you thought you saw going into a fucking nose cone of a capsule and with an unedited fucking video stream and put on a launch pad and launched into the fucking sky on a rocket, on a fucking missile, a bomb. You didn't see that because it didn't fucking happen. Look at NASA. Why is NASA using the Swedish to launch a fucking balloon for them? Think about that. They're everywhere, people. They got relationships with all these fucking space agencies. They're carrying out the deception, the fraud, the hoax, the scam, the bullshit. It's all here. It's all here, people. I keep saying it's not what you know, it's what you can prove. You can talk about it all day long. You can claim this is your theory, this is your hypothesis. You ain't got no documentation to fucking back it up. You just want to show some bullshit video and you're not a videographer and you don't know how to do video analysis. You got to get the documentation. And here's the documentation right here. NASA, 2011, LAD, ESO, high wind. Just check these out. Because I've checked out all of this shit. NASA, 2003, 2013, Sunrise 2. Look at that. Balloon. Balloon, people. That's a complete list. It goes all the way to 2014. 2014, people. 2014. There you have it. There you have it, people. I don't know what else to tell you. I really don't know what else to tell you. Here goes another fucking balloon launch. Check this out. Just check this shit out. Check this shit out. Another satellite being launched from Antarctica. Check this out. You're going to love this one. That's Antarctica, people. Remember how we saw that circular launch pad? The bulldozer is smoothing out the ice and snow. Look at this. Just wait and see. Watch this. This is McMurdo Station in the background. McMurdo is right back here. They have line of sight to this airstrip. Just look at this. This is your billion, trillion dollar fucking satellite program. A goddamn fucking balloon. A balloon, people. There goes fucking $20-30 million on a balloon. It's not inside a fucking rocket nose cone. There you go. Woohoo! Woohoo! Yay! Now you want to know what NASA is spending all that fucking money for? On helium? NASA has spent a shitload of money on helium. So you got to ask yourself, what the fuck is all that helium for, right? You think, okay, maybe it's for the vacuum chamber. They're doing all kinds of testing. No, bullshit. That fucking helium is for their fucking balloon program. What else would you use fucking helium for? What would you use helium for? You use fucking helium to fucking float.
It's at 18,000 feet right now.
Come on, people. This common sense. This common fucking logic.
Hey, the payload is now at 105,000 feet.
Look at that. 105,000 feet.
Quite well, even with the naked eye. It's nice and well inflated now.
So based on the size of that balloon,
now we're at about 120,000 feet.
look at that. So these things got to get to at least 150, maybe 100, maybe they can get to about 180,000 feet. But at nighttime, see this fucking thing.
There you go. Thank you very much for digging that out.
Excellent. Excellent.
Yeah, he
There's
literally provided exactly what I wanted.
There's a article I'm looking at that's dated 2012 on Wired magazine, talking about Google. It says the next big step will be to construct a narrow ring of connectivity with 300 balloons circling Earth at around 40 degrees latitude over New Zealand, Chile, Argentina, and Australia. If project succeeds, then we'll expand northward in more countries. Okay, Cassidy says. So as I'm scrolling through this, Bassano, and my article is dated 2012, they've got a string of balloons for everyone to connect to, and the world thinks they're satellites in space.
And with that, I'm going to say another huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who did tune in on the Nathan Oakley premiering stream, for hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Of course, a massive thank you to all of today's G+ and Discord server for making this after show possible. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!